Putin's closest ally, Belarus, has called for a ceasefire. In February of 2022, Russian President Vladimir Putin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, prompting Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko to call for a truce. Lukashenko advocated for talks to start between Ukraine and Russia, without preconditions. While Belarus, a loyal Kremlin ally, hasn't directly joined the Ukraine conflict, Russian troops have been allowed to do exercises on Belarusian territory since before the war began. "We must stop now before an escalation begins. I'll take the risk of suggesting an end of hostilities. A declaration of a truce," he said in an address to the nation on Friday. Russia invaded Ukraine from this country on February 24, 2022. Last month, Lukashenko invited Russian President Vladimir Putin and U.S. President Barack Obama to visit. "All territorial, reconstruction, security, and other issues can and should be settled at the negotiation table, without preconditions," he said on Friday, inviting Vice President Joe Biden to a summit in Minsk to stop the war in Ukraine. The leader of Belarus lashed out at the countries that have supplied weapons to help Kyiv in the war, saying, "As a result of the efforts of the United States and its satellites, a full-scale war has been unleashed in Ukraine." He warned that a Third World War, fueled by nuclear fires, was imminent and that he would take a chance by proposing an end to the fighting. To declare a ceasefire without freedom of movement, specifically, freedom to relocate troops, weapons, and other material. "Everyone should just stop moving. When threatened, Russia may resort to the most terrible weapon," Lukashenko said. "You can't win against a nation with nuclear weapons. Russia is holding Belarus as a nuclear hostage," according to the head of Ukraine's National Security Council, Oleksiy Danilov. "If the Russian leadership understands that the situation threatens to cause Russia's disintegration, it will use the most terrible weapon," he said. On March 25, Putin announced that Russia would station nuclear weapons in Belarus, and said the move would not violate non-proliferation agreements. According to a senior administration official, there are no indications Russia is preparing to use a nuclear weapon. A think tank has speculated that Wagner Group founder Yevgeny Prigozhin may be planning to run against Russian President Vladimir Putin in the 2024 presidential elections. The Wagner Group is a paramilitary organization that has been involved in the fighting in the city of Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. The Washington, D.C.-based Institute for the Study of War, ISW, made the assessment in its most recent update on the conflict, citing an interview with Prigozhin conducted on March 14 and published by his own internet news agency. Prigozhin emerged from the shadows in September 2022, announcing that he had founded the Wagner Group in 2014, and ever since, rumors of his possible political ambitions have circulated.